Yes, I was calmed. Today, I want to share something deeply personal, a story that gives me chills anytime I remember it. A story of loss, confusion, betrayal, but also a story of faith, restoration, and the undeniable fingerprints of God. The Bible tells us in Psalm 34, verse 17, the righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. And let me tell you, God heard me, even when I didn't realize He was listening. He heard me, even when years had passed. Even when the situation seemed buried and dead, He reminded me that I heard you. I pray I don't get emotional on this. That is my prayer. This is my testimony. Hello, family. Once again, welcome back to Yacht Finance, your home where finance is broken down and redefined. I'm so excited for today, a little bit emotional because this is something personal to me. This is something that I've held dearly. I've had opportunity to be interviewed here and there, been on a lot of television stations, radio stations, but this particular story of mine, I barely share. In fact, I don't ever recall sharing this testimony on any platform. But it's the home of Yacht Finance. We're talking about money. We're breaking it down. And so when we talk about the success, we also need to bring forth the disappointments or the betrayals or the many things that we go through to build what we see now and the future. And that is the reason why I am extremely passionate about this testimony. I usually do not like lengthy videos, but please pardon me because this is really dear to me and I don't want to miss a beat out of the story. And so this particular video is going to be in 6 parts. I'm not talking about 6 series. It's going to be in 6 parts. Same video. Part 1, part 2, part 3, because each part and the explanation to what was taking place. And so please bear with me as I share and pour my heart out with you. Part 1 is a searching season. In the year 2016, 17, 18, I was actually going through a phase in my life where I was trying to make sense what my career path is. I had read books then, and I knew that paycheck to paycheck wasn't enough if I want to retire early in life, because it's always been a hallmark. I don't intend to go the length, the extremist. I don't intend to go that far when it comes to me giving my time to institutions or whatever I give my time to. And so I had started the journey of empowerment, knowledge, adding up. And I was actually in a wonderland, a place I didn't have control, a place I didn't have a navigation. I didn't know whether I was going left or I was going right, but I knew there was a purpose. That purpose I can't define because I'm still searching. I was experimenting. I was looking for opportunities. I was trying to build something meaningful for my future. I wasn't reckless. I wasn't desperate. I was simply determined. You know, a young girl, she's married, she's got her first child, and it's been paycheck to paycheck. And so I'm trying to find my path. I knew what time it was. I just knew that time wasn't enough. One day during this period of searching, I came across a company. Let's call this company X. I am intentionally withholding the real name for obvious reasons. But listen, Everything looked legitimate. And when I say legitimate, I mean they were properly registered. They were supposedly protected by the FCA. They had professional, responsive customer service. Their returns were not outrageous. You could say, well, probably you were scammed because you were chasing after some reigning, unprofound promise that this company was offering you. Their returns was not outrageous. It was 11% per annum. This is something you could get on any day. And so it wasn't a promise of probably 50%, 100%, like the many scams that we've heard about. And if you know me, you know that I do not jump into anything without doing my due diligence. I did what any normal person would do. But I went a little bit extreme. The reason is because I called FCA. I spoke to a representative from FCA. They confirmed the details of this company. They confirmed it was legitimate. In fact, they also told me, actually, without me telling them, they said to me what a company does. I went to company's house and I did same due diligence. Now, why was I searching? As at this point, I had two lots of money. I had 10,000 and I have 6,000. So together, 16,000. But I didn't want to put this money into one company. I wanted to spread it and see what would take place. I didn't have the kind of knowledge I have today. That is why Yacht Finance is redefining finance and investment. I yearn to see you at the top. I yearn to see you win. And so I'm not giving you something out of box. We are redefining finance. This is something that is realistic to our day-to-day activity. If I add 1 + 1 and I tell you in future 1 + 1 could be 10, have I walked the walk? Have I experienced that? No. If I haven't, then I do not have the audacity. I shouldn't have the zeal to be here to speak to you. I sit on this side because I have seen it and I've been through it. And today I know what actually works. I know the blueprints. I know what it takes and what it would take you to get here. I didn't want to be rich quick. I wasn't being greedy. I just wanted stability and something beyond the paychecks. Because I realized that it's been years by the grace of God and it's still paycheck to paycheck. And I wanted to change the narrative of that. I'm a finance student. I've studied finance, yet it's not working. I still do not understand. So I was searching. Like I said earlier, I had £16,000 as at then. So I identified two companies. And company A, I deposited £10,000. Company B, I invested £6,000. The returns on company A was 12% per annum for 7 years. The returns on company B was 11% per annum, but that was only for 3 years. The focus tonight, this morning, depending on whatever time you're watching me, is company B. This was done in 2018. Remember 2016, 17, I've been searching. And in 2018, these two companies, I decided to invest into their bonds. Legitimate and registered companies. So now company B, July 2018, I invested £6,000 into company B. Prior to my investment, communication was fluent. Now, let's move into part 2. The moment everything changed. My investment has taken place. £6,000 invested. Like I said earlier, prior to the investment, company B was in constant touch with me. I had a fund manager who was always updating me about the fund. Proud to the investment, what the company does, the future of the company. My fund manager was always in contact with me, informing me about what is taking place. I call the company as well. I speak to the front desk before the call is diverted to my fund manager. And then eventually I had invested £6,000. But 3 months after my investment, no more communication. I knew something was off. Emails slowed down. Then it completely stopped. My fund manager disappeared. I called their office line and I was met with, this number does not exist. What has just happened? What am I going to do? My heart was broken. I was disappointed. I didn't have a direction. I didn't know what I was going to, just as I don't have the words to tell you. I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm still searching. I'm just lost. I just need direction. And £6,000 is gone. Just like that, I knew I had been scammed. I called my bank. They opened an investigation into the case. I called the police. I also was linked to the fraud department. They also opened an investigation. Who didn't I call? All the important agencies I did. In fact, I called FCA back. And I said, I had called you. You said this company was registered. What happened? They said, yes, the company is registered. It is legal. They're operating. I called again. No, wait a minute. They were operating. But it seems they're no longer operating. All right. So now reality hit me. It's official. I've been scammed. For 6 months, I waited, trying to hear something back, especially from the bank. We're talking about 2018. And so depending on the account and the medium of payment, you will not be protected by the bank. And I fell in that bracket. But for some reason, I thought something will happen, probably considering how long I've been banking with this establishment. And so I thought maybe they'll have a bit of consideration. Probably was my mindset, or whatever it is that was happening. Trust me, I was confused. I didn't know what to do. Eventually, after 6 months, the bank contacted me. And your guess is as good as mine. They said, unfortunately, this is the end of our investigation. We've concluded you have been scammed. And we cannot reimburse you. At that time, as I stated earlier, consumer protection laws were different. So they were not obligated to return anything to me. Later in the same week, I received a letter from the bank confirming that this investigation has been closed and there's nothing they could do. And I remember I stared at the letter and I said, God, why? Why me? Why did this happen? All right, I think it's about time. I went on and I said, I did everything. I followed wisdom. I followed the rules. And yet, here I was, 6,000 gone. But even in pain, I remembered Psalm 46 verse 1. And the Bible says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So I wiped my tears and I moved on. After all, that is the best I could do. And this leads me to part 3. The journey continues. We are still searching. We ain't giving up. Yesterday is gone. 6,000 blown out. Gone. We still got to move. And so I went to my throne room. I laid it all down, the cross. I got it, put myself together, and up we go. That's it. I kept moving. Instead of giving up, I did the opposite. I empowered myself. I attended seminars. I learned. And I grew.